Welcome to Planning Nutritious Meals While Staying on Budget, Part 3 of the Menu Planning for Assisted Living course, brought to you by American Way University. Once again, my name is Angie Danielski, and Crystal Bly will be featured in our video segments. In the third section of this presentation, we will continue discussing additional food groups. We will discuss the carbohydrate group and the fruit group. Both sections will include a video segment featuring our menu planning expert, Krista Bly. In the United States, there is an abundance of carbohydrate-filled foods that we consume on a daily basis. Carbohydrates can include grain-based foods, as well as other foods that contain starch and sugar. Dietary guidelines suggest consuming 6 ounces of grains each day, half of that coming from whole grain sources. 1 ounce of grain would be considered 1 slice of bread, 1/2 cup of cooked rice, cereal, or pasta, or 1 ounce of ready-to-eat cereal. Grain-based carbohydrates include anything that is made from wheat, rice, corn, barley, oats, and other similar products. Refined grains have gone through a process called milling, where the bran and germ of the grain have been removed. The texture of this type of grain is much finer and has a longer shelf life. Along with removing parts of the grain, dietary fiber, iron, and several B vitamins are also removed. Examples of refined grains include white flour, white bread, white rice, and degermed cornmeal. Any products made with white flour, such as breads, bagels, pastas, or sweets, are considered to be refined grains. Additionally, cornbread, most tortillas, crackers, pitas, pretzels, cereals, and rolls are refined grains. Enriched grains are considered refined grains that have had the B vitamins and iron added back in after the grain has gone through processing. Unfortunately, fiber cannot be added back in at this stage, so enriched grains are only slightly better than refined grains. Today, most of the refined grain products are enriched to add nutritional value and appeal to shoppers to compete with the whole grain products, especially breads, pastas, and rice. Whole grains, on the other hand, include all parts of the grain plant, including bran, germ, and endosperm. These 3 together are referred to as the kernel. If the kernel has been cracked, crushed, or flaked, all parts of the grain must be included in order for the product to be labeled as a whole grain. Whole grains can either be a food all of its own, as in the case of oatmeal, brown rice, whole wheat, or rye bread, or they may be combined with other grains such as in cereals, crackers, and some breads. Other examples of whole grains include corn, barley, quinoa, and spelt. Whole grains are important to eat as they have many nutrients, including dietary fiber, several B vitamins, vitamin E, iron, magnesium, and selenium. Eating whole grains can help residents lower cholesterol, reduce the risk for type 2 diabetes, and avoid constipation. Although eating 100% whole grains has the most health benefits, whole grains are also combined with refined grains, which can help residents eat the recommended amount of whole grains, which is 3 ounces per day, without the grainy texture of some whole grain products. Other types of carbohydrates include beans, peas, and starchy vegetables, such as potatoes, green peas, and corn. When talking about carbohydrates, they are often broken down between simple or complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are basic sugars found in fruits, vegetables, milk products, and sweeteners like sugar, honey, and syrup. Most cakes and desserts we eat would be considered a form of a simple carbohydrate as they contain simple sugars. Complex carbohydrates include most of the foods discussed that are grains, including breads, cereals, pasta, and rice. Other complex carbohydrates include beans and peas, potatoes, and corn. In the next slide, we will learn more about the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates from our resident expert, Krista Bly.
All of these grains are, anything that's a whole grain is considered a complex carbohydrate. Anything that is a white bread, white flour, potato, those are all considered simple carbohydrates. A way to kind of tell the difference between the two is a simple carbohydrate is basically anything that's white, prepackaged. Complex carbohydrate is going to be a whole grain, like a whole wheat bread, a whole grain pasta, rice with a brown rice. It still has the wheat germ and the bran attached to it. All of those foods are higher in fiber. They go through your digestive system slower, and they don't spike your blood sugar, as opposed to eating a piece of white bread, for example. There's no fiber in it. It just dissolves in your mouth. Potatoes the same way. There's no substance for your body to have to digest it, and it will just go right to your blood sugar.
The next food group we will be discussing is fruits. Dietary guidelines suggest eating 2 cups of fruit every day. 1 cup of fruit would be considered 1 average-sized apple, orange, or banana, 1 cup of raw or cooked fruit when cut up, 1 cup of 100% fruit juice, or 1/2 cup of dried fruit such as raisins or dried apricots. Any fruit or 100% fruit juice counts as part of the fruit group. It is important to check the label for any juice that is purchased for residents, as not all juices contain 100% juice. Also, some juices will list provides 100% daily value for vitamin C, which doesn't necessarily mean that the juice is 100% fruit juice. Sweetened juice products do not have 100% juice and should be considered more of a sugary beverage than a juice. One drawback to counting juice as one of the servings is that the dietary fiber of the fruit is not included in the juice. Fruits may be fresh, canned, frozen, or dried, and may be whole, cut up, or pureed. It is important to incorporate fresh fruits into the menu at least 3 times per week, as fresh fruit is better in most cases than other types of fruit, as it has a higher nutritional value. One of the biggest benefits to eating fruit is that it also contains several important vitamins that are needed to help maintain the health and wellness of our residents. Most fruit will contain vitamins A, C, and K. Vitamin A helps keep the eyes and skin healthy and helps to protect us against infections. Vitamin C is important for our bodies to grow and repair all body tissues, including healing cuts and wounds, as well as keeping our teeth and gums healthy. Additionally, fruit contains folate, a B vitamin, magnesium, and potassium. Folate, or folic acid, helps the body to make red blood cells, which are important to help transport oxygen to our cells. Potassium is important to help maintain a healthy blood pressure and can be found in bananas, prunes, peaches, apricots, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, and oranges. In addition to providing many important vitamins and minerals, fruits are also high in dietary fiber, which can help reduce the risk for heart disease as well as lower cholesterol levels. Fiber is very important in promoting bowel function for our residents so that they do not become constipated. Additionally, fiber helps to provide a feeling of fullness to residents so that they do not feel hungry as quickly. Fruits with skins, such as apples or pears, help to increase the dietary fiber, as the skins also contain fiber. Fruits are sometimes grouped according to what type of fruit they are, such as berries, melons, or tree fruits. Sometimes tree fruits are broken down further, for example, into citrus fruits. Some examples of berries include strawberries, blueberries, or raspberries. Melons are good fruits to eat when it's hot outside because they contain a high water content. Examples of melons include cantaloupe, honeydew, or watermelon. Tree fruits would include most fruits such as apples, bananas, cherries, pears, or plums, just to name a few. Citrus fruits have a higher acidity than other fruits. Some examples of citrus fruits include oranges, grapefruits, or lemons. Overall, fruits are a healthy choice to serve to residents, especially for dessert and snacks, as they are lower in calories than other things that we could serve, such as cakes or other sweet desserts. In our next slide, we will see Krista discuss juice.
A lot of the menus had juice on them, and typically people are very accustomed to having to have juice in the morning for breakfast. And I would just like to say from a nutritional standpoint that juice is very, not very nutritional whatsoever. It is almost worse than drinking soda. Even if it's not something that's got sugar in it, it's 100% pure fruit juice. That just, if anybody knows anything about how different foods change your blood sugar level, fruit juice will spike your blood sugar level right off the bat. So I don't know how many of you have to pay attention to that with different residents, if there's any diabetics, or even if there isn't. It's just not a healthy thing to incorporate in a menu. Have water or milk, and you know, some of these things are suggestions too, and I just want to point them out because I have a lot of background in nutrition as well. So
even the 100% juice is not good?
No, because like if you want to have a glass of orange juice or eat a fresh orange, you're better off eating the orange because you've got the fiber with it, and it's something of substance that's actually going into your digestive system, as opposed to the juice. It just goes immediately to your bloodstream and spikes your blood sugar, whether you're in a resident or just personally.
This concludes Part 3 of the American Way University training of Planning Nutritious Meals While Staying on Budget, Menu Planning for Assisted Living.